Hey everybody, how's it going? Today I would like to talk about Protection Paladin. This will be very beginner friendly. I'm going to talk about the goals, as I see it, of Protection Paladin and how to perform the basic rotation correctly. So this is the build we'll be using. It's a very offensive build, very little defensive talents that I've taken, and this is probably how I'll start Season 1. As things get harder, as we get up to 15s or trying to survive a weekly 20 or something like that, we will definitely be going less offensive and more defensive, like taking Final Stand, taking Of Dusk and Dawn, Seal of Order, Resolute Defender, Sentinel. We will definitely be playing those things later, but for now, we are just going to be playing a pretty offensive build. So, the three goals of Protection Paladin are as follows. The first is to generate and spend your holy power. The second is to stay in wings as long as possible. This wings that I'm referring to is a buff called Avenging Wrath, and it lasts 25 seconds. And it gives us 20% increased damage and critical strike chance. It's a big buff. You are kind of invincible during this, so we want to keep this buff rolling as much as possible. So staying in wings is our second goal. Stay in wings as long as possible. Our third goal is to get wings back as quickly as possible. So this is ticking down the cooldown of wings, 123, 22, 21. We want to get that to 0 as quickly as possible. And all three of these goals happen at the same time, which is cool. But we're still going to go over each of the goals individually. So the first goal is to generate and spend holy power. Doing this will feed the other two goals of staying in wings and getting wings back. So to generate holy power, we're going to have 4 buttons. Blessed Hammer generates 1 holy power, as here with my weak aura. Judgment is our second button, generates 1 holy power. In wings, generates 2 holy power. Our third button is Hammer of Wrath. This is our execute at 20% or less, and this generates 1 holy power, but it is usable while in wings every 6 seconds. So this is absolutely our priority button while we are in wings. Hammer of Wrath. Outside of wings, you can't use it unless an enemy is low enough. And our fourth button is Divine Toll. This button will hit every target with an Avenger shield and give you 1 holy power per target hit. So we have 2. Let's push the button. It generated 2 holy power for us. You can do that every 45 seconds, and you should push that as soon as a pull has started and a pull has gathered around you. Push that button. Unless a pack is at like 15% health or less, like a pack is about to end, I'd save it. But other than that, push it, because we want to generate and spend holy power constantly. So these are our buttons to generate holy power. Blessed Hammer. Judgment generates 1, generates 2 in wings. Hammer of Wrath generates 1 in wings. And Divine Toll throws a shield at every target, generates 1 holy power for each. Now the way we spend our holy power is this button over here, Shield of the Righteous. This is our spender, and it is not on the global cooldown. So anytime you see it have 3 holy power, push it. It's a frontal, no target cap. So just push it whenever it's available. Whenever it's usable, push it. You have a chance for it to be usable when you have no holy power. If that's the case, push it. Okay, so we are building and spending. Divine Toll gives us 2, Judgment gives us 1, and we're spending. We are building judgments, sacred hammers, judgment, and we're spending. Judgment's priority, by the way, over sacred hammer. So you see, we're building and spending. Another button that you will push when it lights up is Word of Glory. This is a heal that you can use on yourself or a party member. I wouldn't worry about that. Every 3 Shield of the Righteous, it will glow. When that happens, push it. Push it immediately. Just push that button. Make it glow again every 3. There we go. Just push it. Whenever it glows, push it. We want to generate and spend holy power as quickly as possible. Which leads into goal number 2, staying in our wings buff as much as possible. So I have a weak aura that's going to show up here when I push wings. I want you to see how we can extend this. And then we extend it by Zealot's Paragon here. Hammer of Wrath and Judgment. Extend the duration of our wings by half a second. So I have a weak aura. It's going to pop up here. I actually want to get rid of this talent for the sake of the video real quick. So, watch how much we extend our wings. Here we go. So, watch this number right here. 25, 24, 23, 24. We are pushing Judgment and Hammer of the Righteous to extend. 18, staying at 18, 17, 16, 15, back up to 15, back up to 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 11, 10, 9, 8, 9, 8, 9, 7, 8, 7, 6, back up to 7, 6, 5, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1. Held it there at 1 second for like 3 seconds. I wasn't pushing my free Word of Glory either. I made a mistake, but we want to be doing that. So while we are in wings, we want to be pushing Judgment and Hammer of Wrath to extend our wings. I could have kept track of it a little bit better, but we probably extended our wings by at least 10 seconds. So it's a 25-second buff. We had that for at least 35 seconds. I'm pretty sure I pushed Judgment and Hammer of Wrath more than 20 times during that window. So that's goal number 2, which works with goal number 1. Goal 1 is to generate and spend holy power. Goal 2 is to stay in wings. And we stay in wings by generating holy power through Judgment and Hammer of Wrath. All right. Now, I'm going to go back to the thing I broke. Our third goal is to get wings back. This cooldown of wings, 17, 16, 15. We want to get that back as quickly as possible. And we do that through this talent, Righteous Protector. Every holy power we spend reduces the cooldown of our wings by 1 second. And we spend holy power in groups of 3 through Shield of the Righteous and our glowing Word of Glories. So we want to spend holy power in groups of 3, and that will reduce the cooldown of wings by 3 seconds each time we spend. So the weak aura is going to pop up. I don't want you to look at the weak aura. I want you to look up here at this button. Put it up here out of sight. So we want to generate and spend holy power quickly, because the more we generate, the more CDR we have on this, on our wings. So let's check it out. Here we go. We're going to open with this, and we're going to pop wings. 2 minutes. 156, 151, 149, 145, 138, 133, 132, 127, 25, 24, 20, free Word of Glory, push it, 15, 14, 107, 103, 58, 54, 50, 45, 40, 37, 32. Okay, so when wings ended, we had 27 seconds left on the cooldown of our wings. And I'm pretty sure I could have worked on extending even a little better. But The cooldown reduction on wings is huge if you are focused on generating and spending 3 holy power as quickly as possible. So we're going to add a couple other buttons here in just a second. But honestly, that is the core of Holy Paladin. To generate holy power and spend the holy power. Prioritize, while in wings, Judgment and Hammer of Wrath to extend the wings. And to spend your holy power quickly on Shield of the Righteous and your Glowing Word of Glories. Because each time you push one of those 2 buttons, you get 3 seconds taken off of your wings. So that is the very basics of Holy Paladin. We're going to add 2 more buttons really quick. That should be a part of your rotation. Arguably, this might be your most important button. Consecration. Lasts for 14 seconds. You should never not be in consecration unless you're kiting. And then even if you are kiting, you need to be dropping this. Like, you always want to be inside your consecrate. Always want to be in consecrate. Always have that down. When you get a pulled together, put down consecrate. The other one is Avenger's Shield. I really don't know how to explain where this fits because it was so relevant in Shadowlands. It generated holy power, and it generated holy power, and it gave you an absorb for 100% of the damage dealt. Now it does not give any holy power, and it only heals you for 50% of the damage dealt, or it gives you an absorb for 50% of the damage dealt. So it really, it's weird. If you are building holy power and for whatever reason, Judgment and Hammer of Wrath are off cooldown or are on cooldown and you don't have anything else to push, you could push one of these, but sadly, I do not find myself pushing this button very much. I was testing some 10s, and I mean, I wasn't really pushing this that much. Now, granted, I wasn't getting hit in 10s very hard, and I didn't need any healing. I don't know. They just were tuned pretty low, I guess. Tanks aren't really having issues staying alive, any of the tanks right now. You're not going to deplete a key in Season 1 because of your tank and their survivability. But it's just unfortunate because we take a lot of talents to make our Avenger's Shield stronger. So, I don't know. I'm going to leave it up to you if you want to prioritize this button. I don't really, and it's unfortunate because we get a lot of procs through Grand Crusader, and it will come back to us. Let's push wings. It just doesn't really, doesn't really have a place because anytime I push it, I'm not pushing Hammer of Wrath and I'm not extending my wings. And anytime I push it, there's just so many other priority buttons that I need to push. Like, I could push it right here, but anytime Judgment or whatever, it's just hard to explain. It's such a weird button now, and on paper, there's not really a great time to push it, but at the same time, I know this is only 2 targets, but it wasn't really doing that much damage. It will do more damage on 5 targets, so it's probably worth it to fit in when you can, but it doesn't fit in any of the 3 goals of generating holy power, extending wings, or getting wings back. So that's why, in my mind, it's a weird button to push, and having trouble kind of figuring out where to put it because those goals suffer when you push this button. But I don't know. It's a weird button. I'm not really going to talk about it anymore. Now, some defensive options that you have, specifically when you're outside of your wings, because sometimes you won't generate as much holy power and spend as you would like, and you could have 40 seconds that you'll be without wings, or 30 seconds. Any of these buttons are good. Guardian of Ancient Kings, 50% less damage taken for 8 seconds. Eye of Tyr, does 1 minute cooldown, does AoE damage and reduces damage you take by 25 for 9 seconds. Pretty good. Ardent Defender decreases damage taken by 20%, lasts 8 seconds, and you can extend that by spending Holy Power, the same that you can extend wings. I don't have that talent, but I will eventually. So basically 20% less damage for 8 seconds. 8 seconds, and it's a cheat death also. So if you've been playing Shadowlands recently, say I was doing the Ataman boss in Lower Kara, I'll be doing that on a 22 or a 23, I can solo that with Ardent Defender, the Shared Suffering. I can just push this button, and it will kill me, but I'll get 20% of my health back. It's a cheat death, and then I can just Word of Glory myself back up. So this is a good defensive button, and it's also good in certain niche situations like that. Another button I like, just because it's more damage, why not, is Bastion of Light. You push this, and you get 3 Shield of the Righteous. Now, this does not contribute to getting CDR back on wings. So I usually push this button, this Bastion of Light, when I don't have wings. The other one is Divine Shield. You don't use this unless you're taking Final Stand, but it's a bubble. You take no damage for 8 seconds, and you'll taunt everything within range. So you've got some very good defensive options if wings happens to drop. But the goal is to stay in wings as long as possible. And during the phase of trying to get your wings back, when you're outside of wings, you have a lot of good defensive options here. This Eye of Tyr, Guardian of Ancient Kings, Divine Shield, if you're spec'd into it, Bastion of Light, which will refill your full 12-second stacks of Shield of the Righteous, give you 3 free ones. And, of course, Lay on Hands. Lay on Hands is a big, giant heal. Just tops you. Tops you for whatever your health is. Very good cooldown. And then we have some of our utility down here, our interrupts and our stuns. I'm not really going to get into that. Push your Blood Elf, Racial. It's on the global cooldown, so it kind of stinks, so I don't really ever use it. Generates a Holy Power, but yeah. So this video is really long compared to the Shaman videos, but those are the very basics, I feel. So our goals, again, to reiterate, generate and spend Holy Power. Stay in wings as long as possible by pushing Judgment and Hammer of Wrath inside of wings. And then to get wings back by spending Holy Power, which we're doing naturally. When wings drops, or if you're at a high enough key, we have plenty of defensive options, such as Guardian of Ancient Kings, Ardent Defender, Eye of Tyr, Divine Shield, Bastion of Light. I wouldn't stack these necessarily. I would save one, and if one runs out and you need another one, use a different one. But yeah, a lot of buttons to push on this spec for this being a beginner friendly guide. So maybe it wasn't so beginner friendly, but those are the basics of Protection Paladin as I see it. So hope you guys enjoyed, maybe learned something about the Dragonflight iteration of Protection Paladin, and I will see you guys later. Bye.